bread. Let's talk about bread. Now, to my mind, it's an abomination to consider that any man, woman, or child in this magnificent country of ours should have to look upon a loaf of bread as a luxury.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a retired English actor. One of the most respected actors of his generation, he has also been hailed as one of the greatest actors in cinematic history. He has received numerous awards, including 3 Academy Awards for Best Actor, making him the only male actor to have 3 wins in that category, and one of only 3 male actors to win 3 Oscars. He won 4 BAFTA Awards for Best Actor, 3 Screen Actors Guild Awards, and 2 Golden Globe Awards. In June 2014, Day-Lewis received a knighthood for services to drama.
My fellow nominees, my equals, my betters, I'm so proud to have been included as one amongst you.
His full name is Sir Daniel Michael Blake Day-Lewis. He was born on April 29, 1957 in London, England, making him 63 at the time of this production. He stands at 6 foot 1.5 or 1.87 meters. On November 14, 2014, he was knighted by Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, in an investiture ceremony at Buckingham Palace. On July 15, 2010, Day-Lewis received an honorary doctorate in letters from the University of Bristol, in part because of his attendance at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School in his youth. Day-Lewis has stated that he had no real religious education and that he supposed he's a diehard agnostic. In July 2015, he became the honorary president of the Poetry Archive, a registered UK charity. The Poetry Archive is a free website containing a growing collection of recordings of English-language poets reading their work. Day-Lewis has held dual British and Irish citizenship since 1993. He stated, "I do have dual citizenship, but I think of England as my country. I miss London very much, but I couldn't live there because there came a time when I needed to be private and was forced to be public by the press. I couldn't deal with it." He's a supporter of South East London football club Millwall. Protective of his privacy, Day-Lewis described his life as a lifelong study in evasion. In 1996, while working on the film version of the stage play The Crucible, he visited the home of playwright Arthur Miller, where he was introduced to the writer's daughter, Rebecca Miller. They married later that year on November 13, 1996. The couple has 2 sons, Ronan Cal Day-Lewis, born 1998, and Cashel Blake Day-Lewis, born 2002. They divide their time between their homes in Animo, County Wicklow, and Manhattan, New York. Daniel Day-Lewis and Julia Roberts dated in 1995. He had a relationship with French actress Isabelle Adjani that lasted 6 years, eventually ending after a split and reconciliation. Their son, Gabriel Kane Day-Lewis, was born on April 9, 1995 in New York City, a few months after the relationship ended. Juliette Binoche and Daniel had a brief relationship while filming The Unbearable Lightness of Being in 1986.
It's finished. The investment has usually, for most of us, been if not total, then close to total investment of that period of our lives in the process of telling that particular story. So it's very hard to conceive of any kind of a life after it.
Day-Lewis was born in Kensington, London, the second child of poet Cecil Day-Lewis and his second wife, actress Jill Balcon. His older sister, Tamsin Day-Lewis, is a television chef and food critic. His father, who was born in the Irish town of Ballintubber, County Laois, was of Protestant Anglo-Irish descent, lived in England from the age of 2, and was appointed Poet Laureate of the United Kingdom. Day-Lewis' mother was Jewish. Her Jewish ancestors were immigrants to England in the late 19th century from Latvia and Poland. Day-Lewis' maternal grandfather, Sir Michael Balcon, became the head of Ealing Studios, helping to develop the new British film industry. The BAFTA for Outstanding Contribution to British Cinema is presented every year in honor of Balcon's memory. He made his film debut at the age of 14 in Sunday, Bloody Sunday, in which he played a vandal in an uncredited role. He described the experience as heaven for getting paid £2 to vandalize expensive cars parked outside his local church. He was accepted at the Bristol Old Vic Theatre School, which he attended for 3 years along with Miranda Richardson, eventually performing at the Bristol Old Vic itself. At one point, he played understudy to Pete Postlethwaite, with whom he would later co-star in the film In the Name of the Father, 1994. Despite his traditional training at the Bristol Old Vic, he's considered a method actor known for his constant devotion to and research of his roles. Displaying a mercurial intensity, he would often remain completely in character throughout the shooting schedules of his films, even to the point of adversely affecting his health. He's one of the most selective actors in the film industry, having starred in only 6 films since 1998, with as many as 5 years in between roles. Protective of his private life, he rarely gives interviews and makes very few public appearances. Day-Lewis shifted between theater and film for most of the early 1980s, joining the Royal Shakespeare Company and playing Romeo in Romeo and Juliet and Flute in A Midsummer Night's Dream, before appearing in the 1984 film The Bounty. He starred in My Beautiful Laundrette, 1985, his first critically acclaimed role, and gained further public notice with A Room with a View, 1985. He then assumed leading man status with The Unbearable Lightness of Being, 1988, and The Last of the Mohicans, 1992. His performance in My Left Foot saw him receive his first Academy Award and BAFTA for Best Actor. Following his performance in The Boxer, 1997, Day-Lewis retired from acting for 3 years, taking up a new profession as an apprentice shoemaker in Italy. He returned to acting in 2000 to film Gangs of New York, 2002. He won Oscars and BAFTAs again for There Will Be Blood, 2007, and Lincoln, 2012. He was also nominated for the Academy Award for his work in The Name of the Father, 1993, Gangs of New York, 2002, and Phantom Thread, 2017. Day-Lewis announced his retirement in 2017 following the completion of Phantom Thread. Daniel Day-Lewis' net worth is $50 million. Day-Lewis has lived near the little village of Animo in Ireland since 1997, not far from the famous monastic settlement and beauty spot of Glendalough, known as the Garden of Ireland. The county is famed for its mostly rural landscape of postcard-perfect villages, gorse-covered hills, and early medieval ruins. The light, the smell, the utter delight with which we would fly out of the car as soon as we arrived and dive into the nearest bit of the Atlantic. The power of them remains undiminished. Life in England was, by comparison, a little colorless. Ireland was a place for the renewal of hope, and I still see it like that. In his garage, you'll find an Alfa Romeo Giulietta Spider, an Audi A5, a Land Rover Defender 90, and a Triumph Scrambler.